Hi.
We can hear you now.
Did you start it before I yelled at Fluffy to pull a dick out of his ear?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I started as soon as you popped on, but it still took 30 seconds to go live. So
Well, shit.
our viewer was not regaled with you of.
Mm.
My ear is still full of dick, I guess.
Yeah. Chock full of dick. And nuts, too.
Yeah, my ears aren't that big.
Yeah, don't do a firmware update on your headphones right before the show, kids. That's how you do it.
Those are the SteelSeries ones, right?
Yeah.
I think I have those same ones. I don't think it might have a firmware update though, but they're
Aren't they
upstairs.
heavy? Made out of steel and such?
They're
Yeah.
awesome.
They actually are pretty heavy. They're such quality speakers that like if I bend over really quick to do something, they'll come off my head because they weigh that much.
Yep.
So these are like
Plus, they put
no
magnets
joke,
right next
blow
to your
your
ears.
eardrums out.
No, I'm not super loud. Just
Super high
first,
quality.
they're battery powered, and
And the
actually,
blue,
the mic on wireless has noise on it actually, but that's just whatever.
yeah, I push the mic all the way back in. Otherwise, I'm too loud usually. But the Bluetooth range on them is phenomenal. I can walk from my office all the way to the laundry room to grab a beer, and that's like almost 40 some yards.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And they'll last. They'll stay connected.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can talk to people
Holy
and they can hear
shit.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's giving you brain cancer.
Totally.
Well, it comes with its own little base to broadcast it right into your balls so you can have any kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Plus, it's a transmitter and a receiver right next to your head, and two magnetic coils going blah, 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 scrambling your brain. It's fucking awesome.
I actually
Speaking,
worked with a guy as a developer that did a study in college on cell phone radiation and its effect on the human head. Pretty interesting
Yeah.
stuff he did. And
My cell phone's near my balls a lot more often than my head. What now?
yeah, so I asked him what the conclusion was, and he said the conclusion was that it doesn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
I said, okay, it's not the
Living
right
under
kind of radiation.
living under power lines and living near
well,
radio transmitters.
that and we live on this rock with a rotating magma core that generates one of the largest magnetic fields in the known universe. I think our bodies might be acclimated.
That's a goddamn good point. Every time I look up and see the aurora borealis, I should be reminded of that. But
You got one of them down here in Arizona?
we did get one once here, actually.
Really?
There's yeah, I can't remember what year it was, but it was probably 15 years ago, something like that. Fucking solar flares or some bullshit. It got We were out in the desert at the time, living, and so there wasn't much light, and saw the fucking aurora down here. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, seen it a lot in Alaska, but yeah, but just the one time down here.
Never saw it.
No?
I got to get out more.
Oh, yeah.
How about Iceland? They got Aurora Borealis in Iceland. I'd like to go there.
Yeah, I've seen it when I was in Sweden when I was younger.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing.
I think it's available in all the IKEA
bar.
nations.
Yeah.
I saw a bar in Sweden.
Was it over an A?
That's a round hole. Speaking of round holes, square pegs.
Oh.
I don't know. That was a terrible intro. Welcome to Gonna Live.
Oh yeah, we're doing a TV show.
129.
With all one of our viewers.
Yeah, there's 8.
Holy crap.
10.
Holy shit. I should have dressed up. I did put my Johnny Cash shirt on, so.
I'm sure if we talk more about guns, that might reel them in a little bit more.
Blasphemy, sir.
Our witty banter is just so hard to turn down.
Do we have like topics or something?
Yeah, I just reloaded the topics from last week. So,
okay.
I mean, the lead in here obviously is you going to Rock Island Arsenal's auction.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
So you got plenty of
talk
stories.
The whole
that
show.
should be great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Non-interrupted.
What? That's not going to work.
Oh.
I'll try to interrupt him a few times.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
With my rapier wit.
So we rolled up to the auction 10 minutes before they opened the doors for preview day. And it's in like this industrial park. It doesn't look like much. And then you get there and there's a tank and you're like, oh, I think I'm at the right place. And
No, we get that a lot here. It's actually,
it's actually down the way a little bit. And they have a pretty big building, right, where they do the whole preview and auctions and all that bullshit. But then as you start looking around, there's like little RIA signs on like buildings that are across the street, and then those are bigger, and they're like they just have a fuck ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, so we went in for the preview, and there were literally like there were like 5 cars in the parking lot, so nobody got there like early. We did, and you go through the little registration thing. You have to give them a copy of your driver's license. I think because it's Illinois, and you probably shoot everybody if you touch a gun, so you have to do that. And even if you're not bidden, you have to give them your driver's license. And so we did that, filled out the registration stuff. Pretty painless. They give you a little number on a big green card. It's a big number on a big green card,
So your
laminated.
betting thing.
ah,
That's what
yeah.
you bid with. You hold
That's
your
what
card
you
up.
raise when you want to find out where the bathroom is.
Exactly. Exactly. And
And then
so
you-
they have all the guns laid out, and I started taking pictures, and of course I did all that, and no pictures allowed to be taken of the guns. And I said, so the guns that you took pictures of that you put on the internet, I'm not allowed to take pictures of those. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you. So
Can I ask you a question?
I assumed it was more for not taking pictures of the other people there, but they didn't say that.
Yeah.
uh,
Did you ask him if you look like a bitch?
Do you know who Marcellus is? Marcellus Wallace is.
Marcellus Wallace. Does he look like a bitch?
So it took a little while to like catch on to the scheme. So what they do is they number the guns, but pistols and rifles are kind of mixed in with each other. So they sort of like have rifles along the wall. In the first section, it'll go from like, lot number 2 to like lot number 300. And then the expensive rifles that are like more than 10 grand, they have on these waterfall displays on the table. And they have the little white gloves there. You have to like put the white glove on so you can like finger bang those. And then the really expensive guns they have in a case, and they will bring out anything and they will let you look at anything. If it's the really expensive gun, they'll put a mat down on the case and lay the gun down. And they're not like handing it to you to go play GI Joe with or anything. But even the 1886 Winchester that went for $1.1 million. I mean, if you want to hold it, you can. If you want to hold John Garen's Garen, no problem.
Is it cool if I dry fire it, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even. I don't know. They didn't say anything about that. I'm not sure a lot of people are doing that, but
Jesus.
and then so then they have pistols. The pistols in there are these tall cases, like 7-foot tall cases in glass. And like I said, once again, if you want to see something, you just ask. There's so much there. Like it definitely would pay to do like upfront prep, which I did, but I didn't do as much as I thought I did to really go through the auction and look at what you're interested in. And you know, anybody can go there and bid on anything, but I think if you're going to go there, you probably should be prepared to get a couple things to sort of make it worthwhile. And that can be tough because some of the stuff is like stupid expensive. Um, the NFA item. So they had like it's like an L-shaped building, the L-shaped room for the preview, and then like in the first part of the L is Friday. So they have like the low rifles and then the pistols, and they have the cases are like lot number like Friday case 1, Friday case 2. So the numbers, like I said, they're kind of mixed in with the rifles, so they don't exactly go sort of how you'd think. And then any of the expensive pistols that are there, like the Singer that was combat used, that was attributed to a specific general and had a big story about it, like that's in a special case. You got to go ask for it. And then in the corner of it, they had Saturday, and they had the NFA stuff is like roped off. So, I mean, you can touch it and look at it and stuff, but it's sort of like kind of
its own separate thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask somebody, I was going to say like, hey, can I see that Solithorn? Can you pick it up and hand it to me? But, just kind of looked at it while I was laying down there. Yeah. And then they had obviously in the other L they had Sunday, and Sunday was a little bit more like the obscure stuff. Like they had some like Forker semi-auto rifles that weren't very numerous. They had a Mondragon, they had an RSC 1917, but it was kind of bad. And then they had like sort of the older stuff. So like more of flintlock muzzleloader kind of stuff was in Sunday. So if you're into like swords and they did have some swords throughout the auction, but it seemed like a predominant amount of the swords and those older sort of muzzleloader kind of guns were on Sunday.
So
and then mixed
muzzleloaders
in
are
was like
super
the
cheap.
tanks and all that stuff. What's that, buddy?
Muzzleloaders are super cheap then because nobody's sticking around that long. And
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a certain,
Yeah.
whatever people are going to buy those are going to buy those.
Yeah.
So
I kind of thought I was going to get something super cheap, and it didn't work out that way. So, I
Still,
got what's that?
I thought the price for the Southern was, I don't know, pretty decent considering what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, just the price in the metal alone is like,
yeah, if you
three
melt it down,
three
you
or
get some of your
four.
money
No,
back.
I'm just saying, weight wise, it's like 3 or 4 times what a Barrett is easily.
Well, the tank is
Oh,
definitely the
pound.
best value pound for pound. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
doubt
Yeah.
about that. It's like 28 tons and it costs $200,000. I mean, that's a pretty good $4 a pound kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that stuff was there, and it was just so it was great. The preview was great. We stayed till I don't know. We probably stayed for about 3 hours or so. Then we went to the Rock Island Arsenal Museum, which is on Rock Island. The Rock Island Auction Company is not there. It's in Moline, but it's on Rock Island, and you have to go.
Stupid bridge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one entrance is closed, so there's 2 entrances to Rock Island Arsenal. There's a Rock Island entrance and a Moline entrance, and the Rock Island one we found out was closed. So you have to then drive to the other end of the island, not on the island, and then cross over that bridge.
Yeah.
And you go through the little army thing. They do a background check. I saw a guy not get in because he had a drug conviction from 8 years ago, and
Wow.
they require 10 years of conviction-free history.
Clean living.
Yeah. And so we went to Rock Island Arsenal. Great display, lots and lots of small arms. Of course, all behind glass, can't touch it or anything. But they had some really interesting stuff, like Cadillac Gauge manufactured items.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I thought
That
you'd
was
like
pretty
those.
neat. I can't remember the numbers, but 33A through I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool. And then they had like experimental stuff, which I'm pretty sure like a lot of it was from the 60s, and they just took a lot of drugs. Holy fuck.
Pistol looking things.
Hey man, I learned how to do fiberglass, man. Let's fucking slap some fiberglass on this and make it a ball pop. Who's ready?
They had all that stuff. They had what 3 of them, Bart, that looked like prototypes for the Gwin pistol. They had ones that were like combination grenade launcher rifle things that looked like something from Halo or something. So that was
all
cool.
got some LSD and said, "What can we smash together?"
Then we went. So we left there because it closes pretty early. I think it closes at 4 o'clock, and we went back to Rock Island Auction for the customer appreciation barbecue, which was very good actually. It was good pulled pork, chicken, ribs, sausage. It was good.
So
And
if you had to make a guess, what? Sorry.
no, go ahead.
If you had to make a guess, what do you think their total pull?
That's what I was going to ask too.
Because I'm trying to figure the commission. Probably what, a couple of million in commission.
I think the one I saw Ian talk about last time was like 22 million.
That doesn't sound unreasonable. So you figure there's almost 3,000 items. If every item went for $1,000, right?
Yeah.
That's like 3 million right there.
Yeah.
And there were some items that went for like one thing went for $1 million, and there were more than a dozen items that went for at least 200,000, I think.
So it was tri-tip and shit, not just chicken.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So anyway, so we did that, and it was cool. We got to talk to people that had been there before, and they were all thought that RA did a good job. They all said, it's really important to look over stuff because it is a volume business they're doing. So
you don't have the time to check everything, like
they can't check every little thing, right? Yeah, like if you have a K22 that says 22 long rifle, but the cylinder's been reamed for 22 Magnum, they're not going to catch that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so we had a good time talking to guys. I met a guy from Western Nebraska. It was pretty cool. Definitely a
What was
farm
his
guy.
name? Do you know? Or do you can just tell me
Kirk.
later.
His name was Kirk.
Hmm.
Oh, I know that guy.
His daughter was pretty cute, and she does she videographs. So she's a videographer for hunting trips.
Hmm.
So if you have enough coin, you go on a hunting trip, and you want somebody to film it for you while you're on the hunting trip, she's the one that goes with you.
Like,
And she knows
Girl.
Ashley Hiblinski at the Cody Firearms Museum, so that was kind of
Yeah.
funny. But so we talked and looked at everything, and then Saturday the auctions start. 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's just absolutely fucking relentless. It is just you can't sit in that room for too long because it is just one after another after another, and the room starts out real full in the beginning of the day and the first day especially, and then by the end of the day there's like almost nobody there.
is they be bidding on stuff at that point then, or what?
Well, people are on the phone, people are online. I mean, they're still selling stuff,
Yeah.
right? They never don't sell it.
Yeah.
Or if they don't sell it, I think they do have some things that have a reserve, but they don't tell you that. So I think there's some things that if they don't hit a certain price, they probably put back for another auction.
Reserve not met.
I don't know that for sure, but I kind of got that feel from it. But yeah, it's just relentless because they got you probably got enough room in the room for 100 people seated easily, maybe 150. And then you got people standing in the back, and then all along one side, like probably 100-foot deep room, there's people on phones, and then there's people on the right hand side that are on phones, and then there's people. I think those are the VIP people because they bought a lot of expensive stuff, and then there's people on computers that are doing Rock Island Live, proxy bid, like monitoring, I guess, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just really fast. Like you can't. It's not they do these bid increments to keep it going up. So there's almost like a strategy where you have to
Bid early.
well, you try to bid early, but there's even a sequence that you want, right? So if something's at $1,800, you don't want to be the guy that bid 1,900 because the next person only has to bid 2,000 to win that item. They only have to go up $100. And if they bid 2,000, now you have to bid 2,250 to get the item.
Yeah.
So it takes that jump up higher and higher.
You got to predict where it's going to stop and get to the point right below where it stops, and
yeah, you got to try to be the last guy in.
The bid increment threshold. Yeah.
That 251 to 2,000, I think, is a big one, right? Because that's over 10% of the value.
Yeah.
Is that next jump? So, of course, the solar therm, it was like, well, it was the estimate was like 9 to 13, and it was like it started at like 12 and went to 16 immediately. I was like, oh fuck. This is not my plan. I just heard 3 DD devices go for below or at the minimum. What the fuck?
Yeah, but none of them were solo therms.
Yeah, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's still probably less than what most private sale ones are going for, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to there was a guy out of Big Sandy that was selling one. I think you knew. I think we talked about that the first time I was out there.
Yeah, I don't remember what the number was though.
Yeah, it was over 20. I think it was like 22.
Was stuff or?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so I got a Union switching signal 1911, which I really wanted because I live about 20 miles from where that pistol was made, and they only made like 43,000 of them or something. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And got to meet. Yeah, everybody was really nice, friendly. They all kind of looked like me. Middle-aged white guys wearing Hawaiian shirts.
I want to go back to the barriers stuff at the beginning there. I think it's interesting that like they'll show you any gun you want to look at, but you gotta picture yourself asking the guy and getting it done. Like anybody who's not a candidate for one of the items, like an NFA item or a really expensive high end, this 1866 and stuff. The first thing you talked about was the
1886 Winchester.
Everything's partitioned off, right? So they're just relying on your own psychological limitations to stop you from finger fucking the best 1866 in the fucking universe, right? Like,
Yeah, but they let you look. They'll bring it out. I mean, that
yeah,
was the other
well,
thing
they
too.
will
Like,
if you have the balls to go up and ask for it. But
yeah, you gotta
if
go
you
up
got
and
the
ask
balls
for
to
it.
ask for it, you probably are willing to, like, not drop it on the table or whatever and shit like that, right? So
The guy that does their social media stuff, I talked to out there, and he was like super knowledgeable about U.S. military arms, Garand's. Like he's the one that was in the video for the Garand, the 1 millionth Garand.
yeah,
And he's like, oh, check out this 1924 Garand. He's like bringing it out. It's like
yeah.
$120,000. I'm like, yeah,
It
let's
went
check it
for
out.
it went for 100. It went for 175.
Nice.
Jesus.
Yeah, and the gas
just-
trap, right? Even the gas trap went
Yeah.
for decent money. But
Oh yeah.
you kind of feel that way. Like at first, I definitely did feel a little bit like, okay, I don't feel a little bit weird doing this. But literally, the people there are so nice and so friendly. It's just
Yeah.
that Midwest nice thing that you get really comfortable,
Mhm.
And my dad, he's like, oh, they're really nice to us. I'm like, yeah, we have the money. That's why they're nice to us.
In this case, we're actually the customers. We're not the product.
Yes, exactly.
I wonder if they do like a background check on you to check on like your net worth before they let you in.
Dude, the only thing they did was take my driver's
May.
license. I mean, if they could get a check from that, God bless them.
Okay, I was just curious.
Because I even called them ahead of time. I'm like, look, do I need to do something? Like, can I pay by check? They're like, yeah, you can pay by check, no problem. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
$1 million. Far as you know.
This check is not made of paper; it's made out of blubber.
Exactly. But it was a great experience. I probably wouldn't go out for like the next one. I'd probably sort of save my bullets, if you will, and save up for another one. But because I'm not going to go there and do that all the time. But
Yeah.
even if you just want one gun, I think it's worth, if it's not too taxing, if you're not too far away, it's worth going because it's just to see it. I mean, it's quite the spectacle, to be honest.
Yeah, I wish I could have came out there.
Moving a lot of stuff fast,
I've been to a few high volume car auctions with my dad, and it's not the same. You get the same, like, fucking holy shit, the pacing is insane, but I didn't give a shit about anything being sold there, so it's a whole
A
different.
lot of farm auctions here have two auctioneers that to split everything up.
That's what I was wondering. Like, I bet they get to a point at some size, right, where they have to. You got to wonder, like, is it better?
Maybe
for
they
them
just
to
schedule the
specialize?
auctions.
Yeah, is it better for them to sort of fractionalize the auctions into certain like interest areas? Like this guy Kirk I met, he wasn't interested in anything made before 1900. Like,
Wow.
he didn't care about anything after 1900. I mean, he was real nice. We looked through. I showed him the Solitaire, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." But like, he was there just to get that. So he has to be there. Not has to be there, but if he wants to see everything from 1900 before 1900, he's got to be there all 3 days.
Mhm.
And I wondered that, like, if they get bigger, which I don't know how they could get bigger, but if they get bigger, they would have to start fractionalize it. But maybe the value is bringing all these people in at once. The more people there at the same time bidding on stuff, the higher the prices.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there's got to. I mean, there's the Silicon Valley guys could probably turn this into a huge dick joke, but
Yeah.
like, you could split the place into handguns versus long guns or something like that, and get it through more efficiently. But you're probably gonna piss off somebody who's gonna have
Wanting to do both.
a handgun and a rifle. They want at the same time,
Right.
and then also, the more bidders you have, the better off you are as an auctioneer. So I guess that's why they start talking super fucking fast.
I definitely caught some craziness, right? Like, there were a couple items that, let's say they were sort of estimated to be at 25,000, and they would they like lingered for a little bit,
And
at
then just
16, and then somebody makes that bid, and then like, where the fuck did this guy come from? All of a sudden now they're off to the races, and they're going up to like 30,000. It's
Huh.
like that dude was like almost had it. He's like, in his head, he's like, yes,
Yes.
fucking getting a deal of the century, and then boom. Like and it's kind of funny, like, on the littler items, I don't know, like the items I was bidding on, I guess I didn't feel as much like this. But if you just make a bid for 250,000, right? And there's not a lot of other people in the room or on the phones bidding, and they spend an extra like now, granted,
2
some of the
minutes.
auctions last like 20 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So now they're going to spend an extra 20 seconds like trying to get a
Milking
higher
the
bid.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah, like part of you's got to be sitting there going like, "Hey, how about you
Fucking
go fuck
hit
yourself?"
that gavel, Sold, bitch.
You
Hurry
can
up.
you can fucking flip off the auctioneer after shit like that for sure. That's dirty pool. I mean, really.
I mean, it wasn't egregious, but it definitely seemed like there was a little malingering there, and occasionally,
Oh yeah. Well, this is not getting what we wanted for it or whatever. So
Then they had 3
or they got not a pocket bidder, but a bidder they know about who's interested in the thing, who's on the phone,
On a
and
delay or something.
yeah.
They did have their phones go down a couple times, and they did stop bidding when that happened.
Wow.
But apparently they're running IP phones, which I told them was idiotic. Stop doing that.
Voice over IP.
For God's sake, spend the money. But yeah, it was kind of neat watching the people on the phones, and I was surprised that the I'm pretty sure the table on the right hand side was like I said, kind of like VIP. So the people on the phones would have like folders for certain auctions in front of them.
Yeah.
So I guess it sort of divvied that up ahead of time,
So they each have a handler for each person that wants to bid on whatever item.
or a set of lots anyway. I don't know if it's each person. I think on the right hand side of the room that was the each person guy. Which maybe this like one guy only works with like 3 people or something. Because they had one bidding number that he bought a good bit of stuff. Like you're like, okay, this guy's here to party. I mean, he's not messing around.
I wonder if it's like a guy or a corporation.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows, right? Or a museum or something,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, it was a great experience. I really liked it.
That's
and
cool.
I got to take my dad to Brazilian Steakhouse, which I heard about for the next 3 days. So.
Yeah, I've been to that place in the mall. It's pretty good.
You just flip the card over and they bring you more food. It's amazing.
Every 20 minutes. That was part of the fun too, was getting to ride out with my old man. It was a 10-hour drive, so 10 and a half.
Yeah.
And, got to spend some good time with him in the car and at the auction. So I keep forgetting that he's fucking old and he's not going to be around forever,
Yeah. How old's your dad?
75.
He's
old enough,
My dad's, I think, 64.
Yeah, my dad's not 70 yet.
Man, and you guys are way older than me too.
Yeah.
That's weird.
My parents and I were roommates when we were kids.
I was gonna say, my God. Yeah, I wish I could have came with her, but oh well.
And then, just for the record, for everybody to know, Bart was talking about the K22. So I bid on a 5-screw pre-17 K22, really nice condition, like 95% at least. Nice wood grips, no dings, just in good shape. And so I was pretty happy about winning it. I probably paid a little too much for it, but I didn't care. I got to see it. I knew what it was, and I wanted it. I got the box with it because I'm a big box guy. I don't know, can't shoot boxes, but
Fluffy likes big boxes. Got it.
Yes, and
he likes big boxes, and he cannot lie.
Exactly. And so I got it home. I got it, picked it up Saturday from my FFL because it's Illinois, and there's a 3-day wait thing and all this other crap. So anyway, I picked it up Saturday, took it up shooting Sunday, and I was like really excited. I set my targets up at 25 yards because I'm like, what kind of groups can this thing do? And so I had like 5 different kinds of 22 ammo, and I shot like 4 groups, and they were okay. They weren't terrific, but they were okay. But I kind of suck, so
it's understandable.
Yeah, exactly. And so my buddy's there with me, and I look down at the cases. I'm like, boy, those cases look weird. He goes, yeah, they're bulged. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are 22 cases bulged? Oh, and then so I shot 3 groups. They worked fine, and then I used Ely 10X, which is really good ammo, and I got like 3 failure to fires. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I've never had a problem with these before. Maybe the primers are harder. Like, I don't know. So that happened. And then we saw the bulge cases and we started looking. We're like, I looked inside the cylinder and you could see, on a 22 cylinder, they're straight through.
Yeah.
And on a 22 Magnum,
It's stepped.
they're much deeper and there's a step. And I was like, and we were looking at it. He goes, that's a 22 fucking Magnum chamber. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So just out of pure coincidence, my buddy, another buddy, had brought his 22 Magnum rifle to shoot.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, here's some 22 Magnum. Try it. Fucking dropped right in. But the barrel's still marked 22 long rifle. So obviously somebody did a very nice job and reamed those fuckers out for 22 Magnum. They even reamed out the counter bores and they did a really nice job at it. I mean, it looks good.
So was there any part of you that thought just keep it and just shoot 22 mag through it instead of returning it, or?
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of me that so subsequently, right, I contacted Rock Island and I said, hey, here's what happened. I know you guys don't necessarily, guarantee that the gun is going to be exactly like you say, but this seems kind of big. I didn't see it. Obviously, you didn't see it because I think you would have said so if you saw it. But it is what it is, and it's not really what I wanted. I wanted a 22 long rifle. I wanted an original gun, and they were like very nice about it. And they said, we can give you a little bit off of the price if you feel like that'll be sufficient, or if you really don't want it, you can send it back, and we'll refund the entire amount. So I ended up sending it back and refunded it. But I was talking to my buddies, and I was like, worst case scenario, I guess I have a 22 Magnum K22, right? But I'm glad it didn't turn out that because it's not really what I wanted. So
yeah, if it was me, I would strongly consider looking for another cylinder and doing the whole thing. Then you have both, right?
Find the right one. And,
I know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I actually did some research because I'm like, maybe they sent it back to the factory and had it done. And then the more I researched, it's like, nah, because by that time Smith & Wesson was selling a Model 48 that was essentially a K22 but in 22 Magnum, and it had a different bore size, and it was a proper 22 Magnum. So
yeah.
So
Did you shoot it in 22 Magnum?
Fuck yeah, I shot it.
How was it?
Were the groups awesome?
They weren't awesome. They were good though. Yeah. Of course I shot it.
Cool.
I'm not gonna let a little thing like not really knowing how that's gonna work out stop me. Come on.
It's a revolver. It has to make the cylinder to fortune cone jump anyways. So it'll
yeah, it does bum me though, man. It's a sweet gun. So
I assume the Ely 10X, it's sitting down the bottom of the trough there, and the firing pin's whacking just a little too high on their precisely set ring of primer compound on the not like Federal and those guys just dumping a fuck ton of primer compound on the whole bottom of the thing. They actually put the thing in a centrifuge or whatever and run it out to the rim, and so the firing pin was just barely missing the little ring of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I even tried that. So what I did was I loaded some Ely 10X and then just held the gun straight down at the ground, and I got pretty reliable ignition that way.
Huh.
So I was like, the same thing you thought. It's actually sagging down into the chamber.
It's funny that good ammo, they do things that differently than the bad ammo guys.
The CCI standard velocity. Yeah, it went bang every time.
Yeah. Interesting.
I even got a split case, which I thought was pretty impressive in 22.
It takes a lot of work. I mean,
that's some talent right there.
That brass is stretchy as shit, and
just a little tiny.
Yeah. I think you reloaded that brass a little too many times there, Fluff.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just so funny though to compare and contrast. We're shooting those 22s, and of course they were blowing out, so they weren't really holding the pressure they were supposed to. And they were quiet as hell. And then we put the 22 Magnum in, and it's like, oh, shit, that's loud.
I better put my earbuds in.
And of course, I went shooting, and I forgot I think I told you guys I hit this sheet of drywall on the highway with a board attached to it, and it busted my car all.
No. It hit you. It hit
That's
you.
right. It
I
hit
remember
me.
that,
That's
but-
right. And but I have my son's car, so I go up to the shooting range. I have my guns. I have the ammo. I don't have any of my stuff. I have no shooting box. I have no ear muffs. I have nothing. No
Chicken
targets.
just
No
normally
staple gun.
lives in your car.
Yeah, my car is my gun box, right?
Yeah, my car's my gun box.
I get up there and I'm like borrowing shit from everybody. I'm like the hobo gun guy, you know.
I must
Yeah,
be
with a Lottie, right?
I must be the only fool in the world that takes the shit out to the truck and puts it in. Like,
No, I told you I always have approximately 5,000 rounds of ammunition in my car.
good lord.
God,
I mean,
that's just a ton of weight. Just think of all the
30-06
money
to
you spent in
63.
gas.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
You know what money I don't spend is carrying it in and out of my house.
yeah.
But I do
I'm
stock
actually-
it up every once in a while. Once I get the ammo cans get like halfway down, I top them off again.
I mean,
So basically, you're rolling probable cause.
Oh yeah, that's what my wife said. You know, if you ever get pulled over and they're gonna be like, you're gonna be in a newspaper. You know, man has thousands of rounds of ammunition in his car. Whatever.
Well, that's
Yeah.
only if you're arrested for something. I mean, getting
God help you if you accidentally wind up in New Jersey and get searched.
I kind of want to speed and get pulled over when I have the Lottie in the car.
What is that thing sticking out of your hatchback,
Yeah.
sir?
So when the guy goes, "Do you have any guns in the vehicle, sir?" I can go, "Yes, yes, I do. It's right here on the center console."
What the hell is that?
You got a license for that, boy?
I would like to get pulled over with a machine gun sometime. It's never... the day I got my M16, a Snoop song came on. I was driving out to the range to try it out, and it was, I don't know if it was gin and juice or something like that, but one of those fucking old ones. And I'm fucking rocking out, fucking doing like 90 down the fucking freeway, and just kind of, man, I wish a motherfucker would. Right? That'd be fucking hilarious. Pull me over. I mean,
Right,
in
there
Nebraska,
guns,
you have to tell them whether or not you're carrying. I'm pretty sure that's a requirement.
Oh, you have a right to or duty to inform.
Duty to inform. Yeah.
Yeah. Pennsylvania, you don't have to.
we don't even know what that is out here.
Yeah.
I
just
do tell
assume-
them though, just
They
for
just
their-
assume everyone has a gun.
Yeah.
So that's
Alright.
my Rock Island adventure. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's a good story.
It was a
Sounds
good
like
time.
fun.
Lots of information. It'd be interesting to
I
go.
didn't see
just-
Gun Jesus there though, so that was disappointing.
He just goes before. He just
Yeah.
He was in. I think he was somewhere in Europe with Carl doing their Verstrqueta, or how the hell you say their.
Verstalica.
Yeah, that they had some shooting
Finnish
competition.
brutality.
Yeah, he was doing that weekend. I'm pretty sure because I saw his Facebook post about it.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like when you go there, you're like, holy fuck, this is a lot of guns. And then you talk to the guy and he's like, yeah, we got like, 10,000 guns in our warehouse.
Yeah, the ones that are
For
lined up
future
for the next two auctions. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
I read about that. The consign, you consign them like wicked fucking early.
Yeah.
Before the auction.
so there's just all like people just giving their guns up to Rock Island to sell them. It just seems weird, like
Yeah.
Well,
to have like your regular Joe Schmo being able to know them at all.
So here's the
as
thing,
a place
though,
to liquidate their firearms.
like if I ever considered selling my my Lee Metford or whatever, that would be the only place I would sell it.
yeah.
Because
You
that's
pick
the
out
place,
the high
that's
value
the place
stuff
where
and
you get the
send it
most
there.
money for it. You know.
Yeah.
The regular schmo stuff you could do something else with, but the big dollar stuff.
Well, it's not even the big dollar stuff. That's the right place to sell that gun. I would if I was selling
Because it
machine
gets
guns, I'd
advertised
sell- I'd
well.
sell-
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not going to get much for it at the local flea market, right?
No.
If I was selling my machine guns, I would sell them I would tell my friends locally about them, and it would get done, right?
Or put on Sturmgewehr.
Maybe if I had to.
But what was I going to say? Something.
Much better
so-
to just let somebody in the state buy them.
for the premiere, for the one that I went to, that premiere auction. So a substantial portion of those guns were from the Allen Kors collection.
Who's
So,
Alan
of course,
Kors?
he was a past president of the NRA and obviously a big gun guy. So he passed away, and his estate was, that's where a lot of those guns came from. Not all of them, but there was one other estate collection, and I can't remember that gentleman's name, that was also part of all of those guns. And then they probably have filler stuff that they put in there, but
Yeah.
like the 1 millionth Garand came from Alan Kors collection.
Yeah.
So Garand died in like 78 or 79 or something. He got that gun in 53 when he retired, and his family held on to it for, I think they said like 6 or 7 years, and then he finally decided to sell it. And they interviewed the people that they were going to sell it to.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to them, the Alan Kors did not offer the highest price, but they decided to sell it to him because they felt like he could treat it properly and preserve it properly.
Interesting.
It's
I want to give you 100,000 for that gun. Well, I don't know if you're the right guy.
Yeah, that means they weren't hurting for money in any shape, form, or manner.
Yeah.
The most of you've seen my friend's guns. A lot of those guns, like John's guns, and a lot of those came out of the Bob Ferris collection. Bob was involved with the Big Sandy thing, and he had a huge collection of guns that he started collecting when he was really fucking young, and and he went to Korea, and anyway, but like that's how most of the machine guns get disseminated, is either through some consigner like Mendiola or whatever, or word of mouth like that. And that when the big collections go, people like fucking scramble for money to pick up the stuff they were looking for or looking at, like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, didn't Kent get his Johnson LMG from him?
Yeah.
How much?
I don't know.
I don't know about money on much of that stuff, actually, but yeah.
Less than you would pay at Rock Island.
Yeah, because you're not competing with 40 other people.
Yeah.
They did have a Johnson LMG. It went for 50, I think.
50 grand.
Nice.
Plus the buyer's premium, so 57.5.
Do you just have the rifle, or do you have the LMG? I forget.
No, I have both.
Yeah. So,
and their LMG wasn't as nice as mine.
So that just makes me feel all that much better about that. Accruement in value.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to call up. Your insurance company and say, "Hey, I need my coverage boosted."
No, I've actually had it. Not too far from that, because the last time they had one go, it went for about that. So it's I don't know. They haven't gone up in the last couple of years, at least, but probably topped out.
Those are really hard to evaluate. I mean, because there's so fucking few of them.
Yeah, there's not too many.
Like, you see one sell maybe once every 5 years or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm exaggerating.
Well, it's even like the Lotties. Like, the Lotties seem to sell more. There must have been more of them.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah, they mail ordered those for a long time.
$99.
Yeah, with ammo.
$99.
Oh my god!
Shipped. Yeah, 100 rounds of ammo and the gun.
Like, and the Solitherm was crazy expensive. It was $149. I mean,
Jesus Christ! I can't believe that. What year was that?
Pre-68.
Oh my god! Even the shipping, that's insane.
The destructive device wasn't a thing back then, and they just fucking mail order them.
Nobody wanted them, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wanted a 20 millimeter.
What the fuck do I want with that boat anchor? I mean, well,
yeah. I mean, what? How do you hunt with it, and what do you hunt with it? Nothing.
Fucking vehicles.
You don't need hunting with it. You just shoot it.
I will put it on my boat. Fuck you.
But all guns. But Bart, all guns are made for hunting. If you can't hunt with it, you shouldn't be legally able to own it.
Dude, you're memeing.
You need to invent a bigger animal.
Well, that's just what's so crazy, right? Is in 60 whatever, prior to 68, you could go down to the Ace Hardware and buy a machine gun,
and a case of dynamite,
and take it home, right? But you couldn't buy a short-barreled rifle or a
Mm.
short-barreled shotgun
Mhm.
because those were way too dangerous. How ridiculous is that? So, tank is next on the list, I think.
Nice.
I want a tank. I think I need a tank.
I can't wait to see pictures of your face all dirty from working on a tank.
Do you want one with do you want one with a usable gun, or do you just want one to mount machine guns onto?
Well, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong here, FC, if you buy a tank with a deactivated gun, there's nothing to stop you from reactivating that gun.
Right.
I think that's correct. It sounds correct because the thing is, the ban is on machine guns. The 86 ban is on machine guns, so it's not on destructive devices. So you can make a new destructive device.
Yeah, I mean, I can form one my tank.
Yeah, yeah. You
For
literally.
$100. No,
What's that?
Yep.
PDs are
The only limitations
200,
are
200,
physics and engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that Walker that sold, the M41A1 that sold for 200, it had a deactivated main gun. Now, I don't know what that means, right? How deactivated is deactivated?
Yeah.
they
'Cause
probably
if they're fucking
torch
torching
cut
holes in
it.
the barrel, then well,
That's
the barrel
almost
is still there,
Yeah, but getting a new barrel is going to be damn near impossible.
No, but I'm saying the barrel was still on the tank, so I didn't see any obvious defects in the barrel.
Yeah, but they probably slugged it.
I guarantee on the inside where you load the shell in, they took a torch and cut a hole into the chamber on the back side, inside where you'd load the round into.
Yeah.
And that's how they deactivate them.
My dad lives in the middle of nowhere in Idaho, and back and around there, every school, church, VFW hall, and whatever
Has
else
a tank sitting outside.
has a fucking piece of artillery of some sort. And the school he lives right next to has a fucking 4-barrel anti-aircraft gun on a fucking mount sitting in the fucking yard. And it's got concrete in the barrels. I don't remember. It's been years since I looked at it, so I can't remember if the breech blocks are there or not. But like, they don't really go. So the not Solitherm, but there's the full auto cannon that Ian
Bofors.
the Bofors that went in the last auction was deactivated, and he said that there was some breech block. Like in the video, he said it was active, but in the notes after the fact, he said it wasn't, and that they had done something to the breech.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it'd be really hard to get another barrel for a tank, especially with the kind of steel you'd need in forging.
Doesn't Brownells make like barrel
the thing is the thing is though, it's really fucking hard to throw enough heat into a thing like that to fuck up the heat treat because it's massive, right? You have to have I mean, you could fucking weld it shut with a really good fucking Miller welder, 250 amps or whatever, and that would be a great job if it was a rifle, because it would be inactive because it would be completely fucked. But if you weld on a cannon breech that way, yeah, you have welded those two pieces of metal together, but you probably haven't structurally fucked them up by heat treat, because it's just too much fucking steel to affect that much. But again, I am not an expert, but
if you think about how we deactivated the German military when we were paratrooping guys on D-days, they carried thermite with them.
Yeah, throw thermite in the barrel.
Yep. And I mean, that'll just
that'll just eat right through it.
And I mean, thermite's really, really cheap and easy to make. So
what I've always found interesting is it's just like anybody can destroy something with a thermite, bandsaw, whatever. But to actually make it, I mean, that's making it's the hard part. Destroying it, anybody can do that.
You guys watched the See an Arsenal Anvil episode on the MP18 Resurrection?
I don't.
I didn't, but I will tell you this: I was a part of the video. I didn't know it until now, but thank you for mentioning that.
How were you a part of the video? Oh, because you did the transfer.
I did some consulting on the project.
Ah, yes. Well, so what they did is welded the fuck out of the barrel and the rear trunnion, and Mark just took a annular cutter and that was exactly the same size as the internal ID of the receiver, and ran it up in there and cranked on the weld till the trunnion and the barrel came loose. We haven't seen the second episode yet where they're going to actually show what happened after that, but he got a pretty good trunnion that had some stuff missing off of it, and a pretty damn good barrel out of it. So it may not need even a new barrel.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
No, because when I took a look at it, it was like
yeah.
it did not look pretty. Like I looked in that chamber and I was just like, man, I don't know, but I don't like what I'm looking at.
It looks thoroughly fucked. Yeah. So here's the thing. I got a Swami kit for $99 and thought about rebuilding it and stuff. And I read a bunch about how they do them, the rewelding the receivers. And here's how you do that. You make a mandrel on your lathe, which, because you gotta have a lathe, but that fits the receiver and the trunnion, and then it's steel, right? So your mandrel is steel, and then you fit the pieces so that they're oriented correctly and stuff, and then weld the whole damn thing up so it's one solid chunk of fucking steel, and then you bore out the inside of the receiver and the barrel channel and the trunnion to the right dimensions, and poof, you've just erased your mandrel you made and left yourself with a receiver and a complicated barrel trunnion that fits perfectly. And so, like, reactivating deactivated shit's not.
Well, like I said,
If you think outside the box a little bit, you actually can come up with a good plan to save the parts and have a working gun without, and just basically by deleting the welding. And
one of my buddies said they leave the barrels in a state that can be reversed because the government reserves the right to recall vehicles.
really,
Yeah, he's gonna look for a source for it, but
U.S. made, yeah. That's interesting. I bet imported shit's a lot more heavy-handed.
that was the case with patent tanks, apparently.
So, Fluffy, remember the Russian cannon? I don't remember how many millimeters it was, but it was
152.
The one that made the whizzing noise that chucked the round over the hill.
That was so glorious. You heard the whizzing fucking ricochets, right? So we talked about this before, but what happens is the bullet hits the ground and then it comes out and it trades a whole shitload of forward momentum for angular momentum. So it's just spinning fucking wicked fast. But yeah, those fuckers shot a slug from that 152 millimeter into the fucking side of the hill, and it came out spinning like that, and it was not high pitched like a bullet. It was low pitched. Fucking scary sound. So with a bullet, you're like, oh, that's no big deal. That's gonna be spin. And I've actually been shooting it where. So here in Arizona, it's a flat plain, punctuated occasionally by a volcanic fucking mountain or hill that pops up, and they typically have spurs running down where the flows and whatever, there's rocks all over the place. But the fucking thing is that, like, you go out on this flat plain up against this hill and you're in this natural shooting bay, and there's another one next to you and another one next to you. And so people shoot it, go out there and shoot. And once in a while you get yahoos on the other side of the fucking berm shooting straight at the berm, and you're in a protected area where you can't get hit directly by a bullet, but those fucking ricochets that spin in the air, woo, like that, they land on the ground, plop, right next to you. and it's a 9 millimeter, right? So it doesn't fucking matter. It's not going to kill anybody. It's probably not even going to hurt anybody. So that was a bullet. But when it's a fucking 152 millimeter tank shell or cannon shell,
then it's going pounds of metal.
Yeah, and it just I don't see it. Okay, cool, probably good.
Yeah. Somebody's chucking a bowling ball at me, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be going slow, but it's fucking heavy.
At least nobody's been killed there yet, so that's good.
Not that I know.
Track record, maybe.
They have proper medics on staff and everything, and there have been, of course, guns blow up and stuff once in a while, and people like.
I noticed you were standing behind me a little bit when that Russian gun fired.
Which dude, I was fucking standing behind a fucking forklift. Because I'm not worried like this. So yeah, fragments from that gun blowing up probably won't get me, but a
Oh
fragment.
no, I think they would have killed everybody there.
Well,
Actually,
sure, yeah. So yeah, I YOLO. You only
Huge
live
out of battery detonation by a.
you only live once, therefore I'll be behind this fucking piece of equipment over here. And I'm not.
It's the standard. It's basically the standard. Hold my beer and watch this protocol, right?
And so here's the thing. You might think, well, I'll just stand behind a bunch of people, and I'll be fine because I'm 6'5" and fucking I can just look over the tops of them. No,
People are soft meat bags.
yeah, but not their femurs, and you might get a femur through your fucking eye.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'd be worried about the large completely traveling through their body and hitting me behind them.
These are the things I think about. If that guy gets fucking whacked by shrapnel, I might get his femur through my fucking face. So I'll stand behind the fucking.
How about the guy that was standing?
I'll stand
like
behind the thing that will instead
blew
chuck
his hat off.
Yeah,
This guy was like observing, and I mean, obviously he knew the guy that brought the gun, but he was standing like way too close to it. When the fucking gun goes off and his fucking hat goes flying, and you could tell he
was in
he was
discomfort.
expecting that shot. Yeah.
Oh my god, my sinuses! Oh. It's like my eyeballs just got ripped out of my face.
no, his vision was probably all green and purple too. From his, like when you push on your eyeballs, you know.
Too funny.
People can be stupid sometimes.
Well, so the kids we go shooting with there at the Big Sandy. Before it was Big Sandy, it was somewhere else, some crater in Flagstaff, and kid there wrapped a recoilless rifle around his head. Didn't die. So they have good medical people.
They had one of those rifle
around his head.
They had
when you're
recoilless rifles.
Yeah,
at
they had
was
two.
Like,
yeah,
away from it. I think it's nasty.
They had 2-3 of those shooting at the last. Well, it's 2 ago maybe.
Aren't those basically a rocket in a tube?
Here's what it is. It's a fucking artillery piece in the tube that has tinfoil fucking the powder's inside a bunch of foil and the powder blasts out the side of the perforated case. So the fucking gas goes in all directions.
So it's equal at opposite directions.
Yeah, so your back blast is a pain in the ass, and then if
your back blast is probably equal to your muzzle blast.
Of course.
That's the whole. Yeah,
it's probably even worse actually because it has to push the round out before you get that gas out there. So the back blast is going to be way worse.
Yeah,
that's what we decided. We didn't know who got the worst end of the deal. Like the guy getting shot at with it or the guy shooting it.
I'll stand behind the forklift. You wrap that around yourself. I'll go. That's a damn shame. Artillery's scary.
At least with a tank, you got all that metal around you. You know.
Tell that to those Hellcat kids out in Oregon. They blowed themselves up good.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm. It's not the one that goes to Big Sandy. It's a different one.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you get to 50 cal and above, you're messing with a piece of equipment that can kill you pretty good.
Well, there's
but I still want to shoot your Solitherm and your Lottie, sir. So.
All right.
You first.
I'll give it to Wordy to shoot first. He'll shoot anything.
He would have no problem with that.
He shot that fucking Kropatschek, and that shell came out with like, it looked like a fucking like a balloon. I mean, it was just so. I was like, dude. And he was chambered, and I'm like, let's chamber it real slow. He's like, whatever, dude. Bang! Like he didn't even take a second to stop.
My history is woefully inadequate, even though I got a couple of Kropatschek videos to watch. Is this a needle fire gun?
No, not a needle fire.
So it's paper.
It's got that beveled. No, it's metal, but it's got like a beveled case rim. It's weird.
Is it rimmed?
It is.
So
I remember looking this up, but I can't remember anything about it at this point.
But it's a weak ass, barely there case kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty early, man. It's 1886.
Looks like lead foil that's been wadded up around a bullet.
Yeah, and it was originally a black powder gun, and then they were like, "Hey, let's try this smokeless stuff in there." And so that's what we did.
Smokeless! Holy shit! Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Boom.
So I ordered 100 rounds from somebody that's supposed to know what the fuck they're doing. So we'll see if it ever comes. They don't seem to be real big on like, communicating or anything. So I guess when it shows up, it'll show up.
You seem to have that problem a lot.
Is that one of
it's a
them
gun
sites
thing.
where you send half the credit card number via email and the other half on the web?
Yeah, you almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those sites where you send them a letter with a check in it for get your,
Okay.
get the ammo. It's Gad's custom cartridges. I mean,
Oh, okay.
everybody
I
says
was
they're pretty
I
good.
was either gonna guess Graph or Old Western Scrounger. Graph and Sons, excuse me.
This has been a pretty well flowing show, considering we haven't really touched on any of the topics that we cared about. So
Man, we haven't digressed at all, and we're still on the first topic.
I know this is great.
Amazing.
I mean, all the other topics are kind of out of.
Topic number 3 is worthless because the only guy who did is not here.
The CMPs.
Mm-hmm.
But did Omni?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he did. He's the only one of us who fucking followed through. We had 3 fucking months to figure it out.
Yeah.
Dude, I still am of the mind that these are going to be pretty clapped out. That
They don't look like shit.
Yeah, but we're gonna be butthurt if they're not, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm
I-
not going to get a singer.
The primary reason they're not gonna accidentally a singer. I got a couple of Argentine. One's a Colt, one's an Argentine one from Marco.
The
or
ballerina molesters.
No ballerina. The actual 1911s. Got them both from Sarco, or it wasn't Sarco. It was Sarco. Yeah.
Is that the ones they call the Sistemas?
Yes. One's a Colt both of them are fucking no finish, sandpapered, clapped out targets for rust bluing, but that's the primary reason I didn't get a CMP 1911, because I figured I would probably get approximately the same thing except used more.
Yeah.
And I know I talked a lot about how they might be good, blah blah blah. I don't know, but I've already got like 8, 9, 1911s, and I don't need another one. So
yeah, I'm starting to accumulate them as well, which is kind of
fucking 45 AARP or bust, bro. I mean, they don't make a 46, so
I mean, I guess we're both preparing for retirement. That's kind of the story, right?
I suppose. I don't know.
2 more years, we get that card, baby.
Is it 50 now?
Yeah, it's 50.
Last time I checked, it was 55, but that was a decade or
I
two
don't
ago.
think it's 55. I think it's 50.
Huh.
Bart might know. When can you get an AARP card, Bart? Is it 50 or 55?
ARP card? I thought it was 65.
No.
American Association of Retired Persons.
You can be you can actually be a member way younger. You just have to buy. There's a special link, and you get and you get all the discounts. Trust me.
I mean, why would I know that? I'm the English guy here.
AARP no longer requires that members be retired, but they must be at least age 50.
Oh.
It was 55 a while back.
No, there was a way you could get one at like 18. I think I did it.
Although a membership includes free membership for a spouse or domestic partner, perhaps in your case, who may not yet be 50.
Cool.
All people age 50 or older are eligible for full membership.
Hey, babe, check it out. We get 20% off at First Cafeteria, and we can yell, "When's Matlock on?"
Yes.
That actually sounds like a pretty good afternoon.
Shit, you've been there before? Totally. If it was what the hell was it? Oh god, I can't even remember the name of the place. Shit. So you seen the South Park about the Mexican restaurant where Cartman's all
Casa Bonita.
Casa Bonita, yeah. So there's actually a buffet here in Arizona that's patterned off of. And I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but we used to go there when we were poor. Fuck.
Casa Bonita is a real place, right?
All the beans and rice.
I didn't know that.
It is real. It is in Denver. You can go there.
Well, shit. So here, I got to find out. Okay, hang on.
Now I got to go on a 26-hour drive to go get Castle.
No,
Actually, just fly here and you can drive out with me, and we'll drive the 7 hours from
I'm
here.
Googling
That
Arizona
sounds better.
Mexican buffet.
If you'll drive 10 hours to Rock Island Auction, you can do the 7 to Casa Menina.
I think so. Sounds
Casa Bonita. Pancho's Mexican Food and Cantina, it's called here, and you can run up the flag for more sopapillas and the whole fucking thing. And yeah,
Hey
was my
guys,
point?
I'm gonna bust out, man. I gotta get to bed so I can
All right.
and drive. For
You
an
get
hour
in the
and a half.
car in the morning.
Yeah.
You said you were leaving early. I don't think you're 7 p.m.'s early.
7.
7 p.m. is like it sounds like a half day, man.
You leave at 7 p.m. or get up at 7?
No, I left work today at 7.
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah. What time did you get there?
You claimed it was a half day.
8:45, 8:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying too hard. What are you, some kind of try hard or something?
Dude,
I am a try hard.
my wife gets to work at 7, leaves like 7 at night every
Yeah.
single day.
I want to make some fucking cash out of this thing, man.
Tell them how to use LastPass and stuff.
Working for them.
Well, there's a
All right.
wheel of cheese running down that hill, so follow it.
I will follow the wheel of cheese. I'll talk to you guys later.
No, I'm talking.
All
You
right.
tell them that anyway.
Yeah.
Good
All right,
night,
bye.
sir.
Night. The other thing I wanted to was gonna bring up is I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Cody Wilson. You seen the fucking shit he's in?
I saw it on CNN while I was grocery shopping, and it was just like, yeah, this does not look good.
This is actually pretty typical of those "Hey, look at me" types.
Yeah.
I'm a hey, look at me type.
I know.
Which is why you got catfished by someone on the internet.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Guys,
I was just gonna leave it at I know.
guys, just shut up, please.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, even the guys that like head Defense Distributed.
I ain't one of them "Hey, look at me" types.
No. But for those that don't know, Cody Wilson, the 3D printed savior of the gun world, got he hasn't been arrested because he
He fucked up.
fled to Taiwan.
That's an interesting choice of countries.
Well, they have a non-extradition treaty with the United States, so
Man, ladyboys.
that's why he went there. But
Because that's where he's been for. Anyway.
he made an account on a website called, what was it, Sugar Daddies for
Sugar Daddy Meat, I believe.
Yeah, Sugar Daddy Meat.
MEET, not MEAT.
And then met up with a under 17-year-old girl.
Well, the terms of the website there say that she has to be 18 to sign up in the first place. So
Yeah,
that's on them.
That's totally, yeah. That just blows my mind.
Anytime I figure that you want the public eye to look at you, you probably got something fucking weird going on, because I can't even imagine what that would be like.
I just can't imagine like doing that shit in the first place, that you're that desperate to get laid that you pay someone off a website to come to a hotel. I mean, what are social skills, right?
Well, hold on. Elliot Spitzer did it.
Yeah.
Well, you might say, but Pest, you're a total hypocrite, because here you are in this big fucking web show.
Oh yeah, all over 14 viewers. Yeah. Semper said, I forgot to mention she was paid $500 by him.
Well, that seems like a lot of money.
I mean, those are all those Def Cad stickers that everybody fucking bought. That's what they're paying for. Not really, but
quality lady boys or regular ones.
It's just a shit situation all around. But
well, I mean, yeah, I don't think it reflects on any of us.
No, it doesn't. But you'd be surprised what some of the other subs have been like. Oh,
it certainly does water down the message of the 3D printed fucking liberty and freedom and shit, right?
Yeah.
Although a feller like that might consider it fine for somebody underage to sell sex to him as well because libertarianism and shit.
Wow.
See, I don't get that because that was like a big thing. Like the firearms sub was like melting down over this, and the big thing was like, oh, this is all about libertarianism. I just don't understand that.
Well, I mean,
what's the connection between having sex with a minor and libertarianism?
Well, no. So the first assumption you have to make here is that it's okay for a minor to enter into a binding agreement with somebody, which it's not because they're idiots. And I would submit that until you're 30, you're still an idiot and you're not fucking allowed to do that. But it's 18 for the rest of the fucking world, so fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, but a classic libertarian would go like, if she wants to sell her vagina and she's not an idiot, then she should be able to do that, which I don't disagree with, but I'm going to check some fucking ID first. And yeah, I'm not going to buy a fucking vagina. They're free. Even for ugly fucking old dudes like me. You just got to play hard to want strong enough.
You sound like my friend Brad.
What? Really? Is he an old ugly fuck too?
No.
Oh, okay.
he just wanted me to mention his name on the stream, so I figured that would be it.
Does he go by B-Rad around the campfire? Or no? Okay.
Actually, the weekend you guys were all out there. He was out there, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, where?
In Vegas.
Oh!
When we were out there for the shenanigans for the Super Bowl party. No, I don't think he was there that weekend. I take that back.
Well, if it was one of them Uber situations, I'm not going to remember fuck all about that. No. But if it was a non-Uber situation, that might be more likely to.
They all just kind of blend together to me. So, but whatever.
Okay.
I say if you want to come out there this weekend, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm good for Vegas for a minute. But we should definitely replicate that though.
I'm still recovering from
at some point, but we need to get everybody involved.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from partying with Bart 2 years ago.
Shit.
How many years ago was it? I thought it was 2 years ago.
No, it was only a year ago. I saw FC 2 years ago when we got stranded in Vegas
we were
by
approaching
a storm, and so we overlapped a SHOT Show.
That was a fun weekend.
Yeah, so was that right before the Super Bowl, or was? Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah, because the Super Bowl's in February.
Well, yeah, but it was
the previous year from the time that we went out last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but we're approaching another Super Bowl, so
in February. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's pretty close.
And SHOT Shows usually in
January.
Yeah, January.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think we were out there for New Year's, and I think we got stuck by a ice storm for another week.
We really ought to swindle somebody into getting us all passes for fucking SHOT Show.
You want passes? I'll get you passes. Fine.
I would like to apply as a media.
Or we could all apply as media. We are bona fide media. Well, yeah, but we got to trick Omni into doing it. So.
Well, I can do it. I mean, fuck.
That's true. You can let him into the channel and say, "Look at this. We got hundreds of views, tens of viewers."
I mean,
we're
almost up to 400,000. I mean, that's probably a larger subscriber number than most of the magazines they have there for media people.
We should do it. I would actually like to go to SHOT Show. I've been kind of pining for SHOT Show since the 90s and never have gone. Only pining a little bit in that I would like to go there and be able to make fun of people who are selling stupid crap at my face.
It's weird. It's it's all fat guys. They're all sweaty and they all smell like booze.
I resemble that remark.
Yes. I do. I also resemble that remark.
I mean, that's all. I saw the guys from my local show. They came up and they looked at my badge. I'm like, "Whose badge is this?" Oh, some guys in Northern California. We're good to go. But it is fun to go to, but it's just so daunting because there's so much stuff to walk through.
KJW might be walking around.
We did the math a couple years ago. If you wanted to visit every booth at SHOT Show over the 4 days, not including transit time to walk between the booths or through the booths, you could only spend a maximum of like 17 seconds at every exhibitor.
Yeah.
Just skip Remington and skip all the big guys, and then that would be several booths short of that. So, and the obvious idiots. Although the obvious idiots are the ones that are the best fucking TV. Do we have to bring selfie sticks so we can vlog it?
Selfie sticks are banned.
Nice.
No, they're not.
Yeah, no. I'm not joking. There's a ban on selfie sticks. There's a ban on all photography.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
Wow, there's people walking around with cameras all the time.
Because literally when
I took pictures of the
first thing that happens when there's a SHOT Show is I go on YouTube to watch all the fucking videos from all my subscribers.
If you go to SHOT Show, it says photography prohibited unless you have a media pass. However,
we'll get one of them then.
They don't really enforce it if you're just like, just regular guy taking pictures. But if you pull out a selfie stick and you start vlogging from the show floor and you're not media, they're going to tell you, put that shit away or we're going to take away your badge.
Well, I never saw anybody on the floor that would do that. All I saw was like the company reps that were working on booths. The only time I ever saw any like staff was around the check-in place, which they even didn't do that good of a job because I walked through and they didn't even check my badge.
Yeah, there's 50,000 people, going through those doors every morning. You can't check every one. It'd be bedlam.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent.
He said never sneaking in a SHOT Show before.
No,
I mean, I didn't need to sneak in. I had a badge from a buddy, but it would be really easy to print one out, though, if you got one and then just went back to your hotel and print them out in your room. But
that is theoretically true.
Just look the part and you're fine. It's not
like
there's an entry fee.
White, fat, sweaty,
beard,
googly-eyed,
5'11" pants.
5'11" pants.
Velcro cap.
Well, hold on. You forgot. Not 5'11" pants. You need the 5'11" Tactikilt. Okay. You need the chimay.
I would wear a kilt.
You need the Little Rascal scooter. You need the Wounded Warrior T-shirt.
What does a Little Rascal scooter look like? Is it a pit bull with a little with a ring around the eye and no?
No, it's an actual scooter because you're handicapped.
Well, that'd be a Rascal scooter. A Little Rascal scooter though would be different. It would be from the Little Rascals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you need.
Which is a black and white TV show I watched 3 times on reruns when I was a child. So.
All right. Let's see. What else would you need?
You can get off my lawn any minute.
All right. Yeah, you need a Wounded Warrior T-shirt. You need some morale patches. You need. You need a hat. Definitely need a hat.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta have a hat. I mean,
hat with a morale patch. That's definite.
Oh yeah, maybe one that says Subgun Match 2016 something. And,
yeah, or Jed Eckert and Associates, just whatever,
I also prefer to have regular guy on the back for a unit patch. They're like special forces or regular forces or any kind of forces, just regular guy.
Yeah, you could do that.
Works pretty good.
And see what else did you need? I have a bingo card here for SHOT Show somewhere I should find.
Yeah, SHOT Show bingo is pretty cool. I haven't looked at the YouTube comments at all. I'm failing at this.
Or succeeding, depending on...
Nope, failing. Straight up failing. There's my fat, dumb, happy face right there on the fucking... Why does my face always wind up on the thumbnail?
It just depends on the show.
Yeah, And chow, 11 people. Wow, we're crowded today. Yep. 11 people watching these 3 goons. Oh, is this live? Yes, it's fucking live. God damn it.
Yeah, you know how it's live? Penis.
Penis. Special order. What time does it start? How late am I? FL is requesting bump stocks to be turned in. FL Florida? Florida's sort of right next to Louisiana. What's going on with Florida requesting bump stocks to be turned in?
Well, the state changed the laws, so.
Oh. Florida gun owners have until September 30th to get rid of their bump stocks. Well, that's what you get for not living in Arizona.
Arizona.
Bump stocks are fucking stupid. You got a finger, you don't need a bump stock.
Yeah, you get a belt loop. Bump stock.
Don't need a belt loop either.
It helps a little bit. I mean, otherwise you have to have like a super limp finger. Blah blah blah.
No,
blah,
it's
blah,
pushing forward with on the forearm, and you just hold your finger in place.
Yeah.
The limp finger is no good. We actually had we were shooting out of the desert back on the 4th of July, probably about 1996, 1997, out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, now there's a fucking golf course out there actually because it was by Lake Pleasant. Shooting bottle rockets out of beer bottles at each other and stuff, and bump firing AKs and hooting and hollering and celebrating independence and stuff. And up rolls Opie behind us, and he's like, "Okay, who's got the full auto?" I'm like, I don't got a full auto. I got a bump fire thingamajig here, and here's how this works. You just put your finger in the doodad, and shall I demonstrate?
Yes.
No, that's fine. Have a good day. Almost had to whip out a Form 4 for a semi-auto, apparently, because reasons.
I've never been anywhere that anyone's asked me to see any of my forms.
There's been 2 times I've been jumped by the Popo out in the middle of the desert there. That was the first one, and the second one was when he rolled. I actually had a bunch of machine guns and a short barrel shotgun and some stuff, and so the Remington 870 that's 11 3/4 inches was fucking sticking out of my backpack off the back of the truck, and the guy walks up behind us and he's like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing." He's like, "Okay, just checking to make sure you didn't leave a bunch of trash on the ground and stuff." And "Oh, I thought you was here because you heard machine guns." He's like, "Machine guns? Well, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, apparently I'm a
Hold
dumbass."
on, let me take my foot out of my mouth for a second.
Yeah, because I opened my fucking mouth, and so I proceeded to show him a bunch of copied Form 4s and some stuff, but I didn't have papers, and he didn't even fucking notice the fucking 12-inch shotgun sticking out of the fucking backpack right next to his fucking head.
I mean, nobody knows. I mean, they don't know. 99% of the population.
Yeah, so I had
anything.
here's a Form 4,
Cops
and this
included.
says I can have this gun, blah blah blah. I ain't got them for all the guns here because reasons and wallets or things and stuff.
I don't bring any of my forms with me. Fuck that.
Yeah, I typically don't either, but I did have a couple of them in my wallet because like from 2011 when I started doing this shit, and thought it'd be good to have that stuff. But like,
I used to have a folder where I just copy them and throw them in the folder and bring the folder with me, but I didn't even bother with that anymore because I've never been anywhere that's ever like remotely even asked. Although the state range in Lincoln, though, that I'm about to go to, they say it's no NFA stuff, but I want to come in there with the Mac.
No NFA stuff.
Well, I don't know because I've brought an SBR
What kind of a
before,
state
and they
you live in?
It's like an archery and gun range, and
So
Run by
basically
Game and Fish.
yes, it's run by the NRD, so they don't want people in there with like belt feds and shit doing crazy stuff because it's an indoor range.
Oh, indoor. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's different. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, here in Arizona, we have 4 in this valley area here. We have 4 game and fish ranges. One of which is the one I'm actually a member of, which they don't give a flying fuck what you got. But the other one up north is Ben Avery, and they we went out there with sub guns, and I'm shooting my PPSH. My buddy's got a Smith & Wesson 76, and A couple other guys had pistols and stuff, and we're playing around. And what are you doing, standing up shooting that full auto there? You better sit down. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, fine, I'll sit. Really? Okay. And he's like, what are you doing? You're shooting over the berm. And I'm like, well, you made me sit down. And like the fucking angle to the berm now is fucking much steeper and or shallower. And so, yeah, if I'm going to shoot, you can't just shoot at the dirt there at that fucking particular special fucking range. You got to sit down with your subgun, shoot at a target, which is at 50 yards. And the only place you can fucking hit on the target is right at the fucking bottom where the fucking frame is, and they're gonna be butthurt about the frame getting shot. So if you shoot above the frame and you rise at all, you're going over the berm because you're sitting down, which means you're lower, which means you're straight with the fucking berm. The fucking subguns are meant to be shot on your fucking hind legs like a fucking stand-up ape.
I will agree with that as someone who owns a subgun.
Is that your 80-pound, 8-month-old dog behind you, panting on the floor?
Nope, that's Zoe. She's 16. She's old as shit.
Yeah.
She's
16's pretty old for a dog that big.
She's a handful, and she don't like other dogs, and she don't like other people.
Oh, so it's just like you.
She's been she's a 16-year-old albatross in my life, which she's so.
You want her to die.
Now we do kind of a little bit. Yeah, I'm not gonna be super sad when she goes because she's.
I understand.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's a point where they get with a yeah.
So here's the thing though. When she was 2 or whatever, she was she was stolen by our friends who were the next door neighbors to her owners. He was out in the front yard with a curtain rod trying to beat her to make her run away. And our friend took her away from him and sent the word out over the whatever friend Facebook thing that we had then. I'm like, oh, we need a dog. We're like, okay, we'll get that one. And she hated me. She's been a pain in the ass her whole life. But when anyway, now she's gone.
Because you knew to talk about her.
She's actually a great fucking dog when she's not around any other people or any other dogs. But anything you ever want to do with a dog, like introduce her, have guests over or any shit like that, she just fucking ruins it. But anyway, she was our first rescue and total albatross, but also super. She's actually a great dog, and I'm doing her injustice right now, but yeah. We had another rescue dog from the shelter, and he lived 10 years in our custody, and he was fucking fantastic, and we thought it would be great if he lived longer than she did, but no.
Works that way.
Anyway.
Oh, what other topics do we have tonight? The drone gun. The confiscation of guns leading up to Hurricane Florence. We haven't heard anything about that, so I think we just
apparently not, but they do that.
Yeah. Katrina, supposedly.
Katrina and a bunch of other ones. They actually do that a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if anyway, we didn't do any research, but we don't know. So I actually don't know what Florence did. Because I didn't follow up, even though Sea and Arsenal is in the path of it. Fail. They're still communicating though, so I assume they're great.
Yeah. There's a time a couple years ago when they got flooded for something else out there. I don't think it was a hurricane or whatever, but I remember Matthias saying I had to move all their shit.
Really?
Somewhere else. Yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, there was a big storm that hit Charleston, and
yeah,
it was like a winter storm, and basically Charleston froze.
I thought it was flooding.
Well, if you have a whole bunch of precipitation, there's bound to be some flooding.
Yeah.
U.S. judge strikes down California ban on handgun advertisements.
Thanks, Obama.
No, that was the Ninth Circuit Court. A judge that was appointed by Obama that said that the ban on California not allowing their FFLs to advertise handguns was unconstitutional. So, I mean,
First Amendment issue.
Yeah. I mean, they're
Struck down a nearly century-old California law that banned handgun ads at gun shops, saying the state failed to show it would prevent suicide. Wow. 1923 law banned any handgun ads at gun shops that were visible from outside the store.
Yep. They thought the reasoning behind the logic was if you advertise a handgun, it will make impulsive people go out and buy a handgun and immediately commit suicide. By the way, there's a 10-day waiting period on handguns in California.
Well, after the 80s when the school shooter there with the thingamajig and stuff, but sure, but 1923?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I assume it's just one of those stupid laws that, like, back in the days, and like, I don't know, 23. That'd be like.
That was before the Depression. But
Yeah.
after indoor plumbing.
When was the gold rush out there? That was like
I
assume
1923. They're making movies of where Western movies where horses get shot and nobody gives a fuck on the movie set. That like
dying animals.
Yeah, like.
We killed 700 horses to make this movie of these Roman chariots.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then all of a sudden, we have a conscience. But apparently they got the conscience about guns long before they got the conscience about making fucking movies about
it probably boiled down to one person on the committee trying to fuck over someone they didn't like that had a business in town.
Yeah.
You know?
That's typically how that works.
Just trying to spite someone else for being a dickhead.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
I just assume that most of the laws in California got put in place because the people there are just so used to ignoring the laws that they don't give a fuck anyway. Like no, like everybody just assumes nobody's gonna follow these laws, so they can pass whatever the fuck they want, and we can all talk about how we obey or we like them on Facebook, but nobody like actually follows them.
Yeah.
Because Jesus. Can't advertise a gun at a gun store. Fucking hell.
Shit happens, man.
Yes, I do have the best shirt.
Yeah. Odin the Wise said he loved your shirt. That was like 40 minutes ago.
Well, I'm scrolling back in crowd today. 11 people.
Oh, you're only looking at the YouTube comments. So I'm talking from Discord.
Yeah. Oh, well, fuck Discord. Unless you're playing a video game. You want to talk to other people. Yeah, the problem is now the dipshit crap, the chat bullshit gets in the way of like Discord crashes or whatever because these idiots got to argue on the fucking thing that's not the internet because it's the internet. Like
Discord doesn't crash very often at all, but it's so useful for me for
people
moderating.
Sure, I get it.
Because we have that Ask a Mod sub, and whenever somebody posts some dumb bullshit, we have people that'll post a link immediately into the Ask a Mod channel, and I'm like, this shit needs to be removed. So that's why it's so efficient. And I can do it easily by one person.
One guy. I'm coming back, man. It goes in phases. I get lost once in a while. I'm coming back.
You're playing Long Dark until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then sleeping all day, right?
It's scum lately, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
Do you? No. So the thing is, though,
remember when we used to play Heroes and Generals like 4 o'clock in the morning every night? You, me, and Spidey.
Yeah, that was fun. We should play Scum.
More Cums omelets.
Yeah, no, Scum's got Scum. You can poop
Mhm.
and pee.
I have to download the game to try it out.
It's a great fucking game. I'm telling you, bro. You can your buddy rolls up and you throw a pickaxe at his head and he dies, and then everybody gets around him and poops on him and pees on him, and then it's fucking amazing.
This sounds
The
just
pee poo technology
brilliant.
built into this game is a
So you're saying the developers are coprophiliacs?
no, they're Croatians. It's amazing.
Oh, fuck.
They're responsible for the grip zone and Scum. It's
Nice.
yes. A3 reinforced Colt M16A2 safe semi-auto. Wait. Should I trade a Colt M16A2 safe semi-auto John Kios? What? This makes no sense. I'm trying to read it, but it's 4 doubles deep here, so.
Yeah, I'm there too. I think it's about after showtime. We've done through all the
Fine.
Yeah. Yes. Fine.
You win.
Let all the unwashed masses in. Did we sign off?
For 2 new Fleming HK series? What? Wait, no, hang on. No, this needs to be addressed in the regular show.
All right.
Okay, I got to make sense of this. Should I trade a Colt M16A2 safe semi-auto John Keogh Salin latest A2 reinforced receiver with mil-spec black finish, brand new in the box for 2 Fleming HK series?
Yes.
If you have the M16A2 and some idiot wants to give you 2 new Fleming H&K series, that person is giving you 80 grand in
For
exchange
20.
for 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
That's
fucking
retarded.
trip over your dick. But that person is gonna fuck you in the ass because that's not a real deal.
Yeah. That sounds like a scam. 100%.
Do you know this guy? If you know this guy, you should give him a reach around and then accept the deal. But if you don't know this guy, you should stay the fuck away, and hopefully you didn't give me your email address.
Link that in chat or something. I'm interested to see what this is.
It's in the YouTube.
The YouTube.
Yeah,
I don't look
click
at
on
the
it.
YouTube.
Go to the YouTube and push pause so you're not confused what's going on.
I don't go to the YouTube channel.
You go to the
because
YouTube.
The comments there are trash.
This one's a quality comment. This is like, should I get myself fucked in the ass or not? And no, you should not, because nobody's gonna give you 2 Fleming HK series for that thing.
Nobody.
Without being without an eyeball
Without
in your
being mentally retarded, they're not gonna do that. Not even close.
Nobody who's mentally retarded has 2 Fleming HK series.
All right. With that said, I think we should close the show down. Open up the after show.
Sure.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Jonesy says you're trash.
I know. I'll see you in a bit. Night.
Good night. Good night.